Well, hey there, this is Jerry, and I'm bringing you another episode of What's Broke Today. Today I've got it's a John Deere. It's like a right stander. What it is, a model 652. Yeah, 652R. Has a starting issue, and you listen, and I don't know, it may start, it may not. There we go. See, there it did, and then a lot of times it just does that. You hear the starter motor turning and it rattles, and I'm gonna go ahead and yank the starter off there, and we'll take a look at it, because I got a feeling the one-way clutch that's on the starter drive gear is bad. Yeah, starter off, maybe take it apart, and then actually run the actual engine numbers for this motor. Because when I looked it up yesterday, I got, instead of AS20, I looked up AS02, and when I did that, I had the wrong engine. Now, these starters aren't too bad to remove. That it's kind of looks tight in there, but it's not too terribly bad. And I originally tried to loosen the battery cable on the bottom of the starter. My little baby ratchet wasn't getting it done. So I get the bigger ratchet where I got more leverage. I feel like I'm going to break the starter when I'm doing that. But at least when you got the deck drop down, you can reach underneath this bar and get that nut on the cable loose. And this is a mower's a 2019 model, so it's coming up on 5 years old. So, and this has probably never been off. And I'll have to look at the hour meter, because this has, 1,653 hours. I get the nut off, and this is basically the same as a right stander. The goofy things on the John Deere, it actually has a nylock nut up on the starter, and then you got to pull your wires off, and there's actually 3 wires on the stud. The wire that goes in for charging, the battery cable, and then the one that supplies the rest of the ignition system. Our bolts are up here on top, and they look like they are 12s. So don't take these off all the time, so don't always remember what size. But we'll lift the deck back up, and the actual one that holds the starter on, here in the front there's 2 bolts, and it's the one that has no wires on it. There's a bolt there for the ground wire too, and then on the back there's a little wire loom thing. and number 2. Of course, you can tell that thing hasn't been off there because it is almost stuck. There we go. Once we get it dropped down, then we just kind of got to, because all the stuff wires and everything's underneath, we just got to kind of move things around so we can try and fish that thing out of there. And for me, it's just a lot of matter. Once you get the nose cone out, the rest of it actually comes real easy. There we go. All right. We got green wire unplugged off, and there's our starter, and well, it looks like a lot of wear on that shaft where that gear moves up and down, but let me go grab some other tools and we'll disassemble the starter. Alright, got our starter, so let's figure out and get this thing took apart. That's a 12. Oh, Ash, you're gonna knock the camera over. The cats just aren't quite adept enough to be videographers. They're better at taking and hitting and knocking things over than they are holding them and positioning them. So, we're going to take this apart. I take the nut off of the wire that goes to the solenoid. Then we'll flip this over and Ash, you're going to knock the camera over. I'm going to take the 2 nuts off that hold the solenoid onto the body of the starter. Okay, get up in my lap or get out of the way. And I must have put my swapped my 3/8 of my 10mm sockets in my toolbox. Yep, I inadvertently put the 10 in where the 13 went and the 13 where the 10 went. So, because these are 10mm headed. And take those off. And then this just pulls out, and then you can just raise it, and it comes out and unhooks off of the shift arm that's down in here. And then 8mm are the bolts that go stem to stern in here. Okay, then we get our hammer and cat, that's my knee. Very gently. Cat, that's my knee with your claw. No, no claws in my legs. Okay, we look in here. There's something that's melted. So melted stuff inside of there. And brushes, things don't look too good. There we go. So seal didn't really want to come apart, but yeah, I was gonna say between rust, I don't know if you can see up in there. You can see how that shaft is rusty, the drive is rusty, and I'm looking at the wear on the drive side of the teeth, and I look at the back side of the teeth and thinking this thing even hasn't been disengaging properly, because it's got, shouldn't really have wear on the back side of the teeth, only on the drive side. Yeah, I know, you're just here to help. And you can see that plastic I was seeing was off of this. So yeah, so when that was trying to kick the gear up in, it wasn't necessarily being very, wasn't doing a real good job, because see, there's some of that plastic off of this around that shaft, made a nice little washer. So yeah, so of course I got my cats here wanting to be extremely helpful. Yeah, because that lower bushing's worn. Brushes aren't totally wore out, but they're not far from it. So let me look up a starter and see how much we're looking at. Okay, well, when I was looking up starter parts, of course Kawasaki doesn't sell the bushing separate. So by the time you buy parts and everything you need, and like with this rust and stuff we got in here, this costs more than the whole starter, the armature. And then the starter drive gear here, we'd have to reuse it because it's no longer available. Of course, I called a local place that rebuilds starters, and they're talking like $150 to $175. So I ended up going the route of, which I had this on the shelf, a OEM Kawasaki brand new starter, and these cost me $165. So this is what we're going to put on. And I got my assistant here, Ash, is going to help make sure I get this starter on right. And I'm actually going to start out by plugging the little purple wire on that activates the solenoid. Well, I can get to it fairly easy. And then we shoehorn this thing down through there and pull wires out of the way and hoses. And finagle that around. Sometimes that's easier said than done because got all this stuff in the way, and I mean they just barely get this stuff to fit in here. Let's drop that deck down so I can reach underneath. Because when the deck's all the way up, you can't reach underneath here and pull these underside wires out of the way that it sets on. What's hanging me up now is actually the charge and the kill wires. I say charge, the wires for the fuel solenoid on the carburetor. And getting them around everything, and I gotta look because one of them just came unplugged. But I get the starter around and get it up in its hole. The cat's been up there because all that stuff's been rearranged. It was on the deck. They was digging for something. Oh yeah, forgot it fell underneath. Oh. Alright, let's come down here and find out that wire that I inadvertently unplugged and plug it back in before I forget. Like I say, I got everything shoehorned in here so tight. Okay. And we got that wire, two, and our battery wire up on there. And the 13. Oh, hi Ash. You know I couldn't get this done without you watching. And just got to watch when you're tightening this up, because you want that starter to go up in there straight and not crooked. Because like when I had trouble sliding it out of there, it kind of fits up in a pocket. So I just alternate tightening left and right so I get it up there. There we go. Alright. Then we can hook up our negative battery cable. Reason. Okay, Ash, you gotta watch out. Papa gonna start this. Alright. Well, I think that's going to finish up our John Deere stand-on mower. Our model 652R has a Kawasaki FX730V motor. New starter on it, and in most cases, a new starter is almost always the best way to go. Just because of the wear you get in them and all the dirt from it being a lawn mower, and these things get used because, like I say, it's got 1,653 hours on it. So this thing has cut a lot of grass, munched a lot of leaves, been in a lot of dusty situations, which is more than likely what's caused that wear in the starter. And more than likely it's probably been washed once or twice at the car wash, which doesn't help. But we got him good to go now, and I'll say I appreciate you watching. Always like those thumbs up for the likes. Comments are always welcome, and I'll say if you're not a subscriber, please join on in. If you know anybody else that might like watching videos like this, send them a link to one of these videos, and let's join in, and more the merrier. I appreciate you watching. Just stay tuned for no telling what else you're going to see on What's Broke Today. Thank you.